Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cashflow Playbook. My name is Josh Copel, and ladies and gentlemen, I am here to teach. So I hope you came here to learn. And here's my thesis. I don't think that you need more traffic to make more money. I think you need to be able to pull the right levers in your business at the right time. And so the idea behind today was to walk you through 3 battle-tested campaigns that drive revenue fast with no ads, no influencers, no gimmicks, just smart strategy and execution. And so, again, my ambition today is to help you build a playbook that pays you back. Before we do, I want to talk about the problem, the hurdle that I think we're all experiencing as it relates to greater profitability. I think that we're not underperforming as an industry. I think we're under leveraged. I think that we all have these amazing guest lists and a great team and a solid reputation. And what we lack is a reliable system to generate revenue when we need it. It's the number one question that I ask all of my clients at the top. I say, if there's a gun to your head and you need to make more money today, what lever do you pull? What do you do? And by and large, most of us don't have that built into our systems. So today that changes. Here's what I think the real paradigm shift is for you as owners and operators. I think we need to dispel the myths around the fact that more traffic is the goal, because it isn't. More profit is the goal. And the truth is, more promos usually mean less margin and more likes and engagement. That's not really a sales strategy. And so what we're going to build today is cash flow on demand, not by accident. And so it's important that you know that what I'm teaching today is actionable. You're going to leave today with 3 campaigns that generate revenue fast. This was built for people that are busy and don't have any time, because an owner operator myself, there isn't a ton. You're not going to have to put ads against any of the stuff that we're going to do today. And it has been proven across hundreds of restaurants globally to generate high volume, high profitability revenue at scale. For those of you that don't know me, hi, my name is Josh. I am an owner operator. I've spent more than 20 years in this industry. I've owned dive bars, Michelin awarded fine dining restaurants, and then we spun that out into a fast casual concept. And I did it in Los Angeles, easily one of the toughest dining markets in the world. And today, I teach owners across the globe how to outmarket the competition, scaling profitability and top line revenue in a predictable way. This is my playbook, and it was built from living in the trenches. I see the world differently, and I think that it served me well. And so I'm hoping to afford you my worldview and my strategies so that you enjoy the same benefits that I did. And to reassure you, all of this was built out of my own failure and my own struggle in iterating to get through. No one is inherently born knowing how to do these things. So let's go through today's objectives. If you were here to talk about branding or trends or the next big LTO, that's not what we're doing here. This is about turning what you already have into a money-making machine. And so I want to walk you through the 3 campaigns that you can run this month, each one designed, again, to create predictable, immediate revenue. It starts with turning your guest list into cash, selling gift cards at scale. Then we're going to use your existing mailing list to sell events and catering. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use your social media following and the engagement that you're already getting to turn eyeballs into butts in seats. Something that would be super helpful for me as I sit here screaming into the abyss is for you to participate. You'll have questions that come up. Please use the chat to ask those questions. And if I ask you a question, I genuinely want to know the answer, because you, the people that are attending this, will inform the direction that this takes. So to begin, I want to start by talking about gift cards. The idea for gift cards for me was not how do I sell more? How do I sell them ad hoc? It was how do I sell them at scale? How do I sell tens of thousands of dollars of gift cards over the course of, let's say, a week? without a lot of effort. And I think that the theory here is really important. I think most owners are using gift cards the wrong way. They treat them like these passive products. People buy them, they buy them based on circumstance, but we're not actually pushing the sale. I think you can use them strategically. And if you do so, they generate thousands of dollars in just a few days, all built off your mailing list. The goal ultimately here with gift cards, if we're using them the right way, is to pull revenue forward. That is what we want to do here. And a foundational understanding that I need you to have before we move forward is that statistically, gift cards redeem at an 80% rate. And so understanding that, if we were to offer a 20% discount on gift cards, we would be at a flat margin. Let's talk about why gift cards work. Gift cards, beautifully so, they don't feel like spending. They feel like a store of value. And so when you pair that with urgency and exclusivity in a clear close window, people will move much faster doing something that they are already inclined to do. And if we add automation into that, running a 4-email campaign with a couple of text messages, it doesn't feel like sales. It feels like sharing. And so if you do not have an SMS platform that you're using to market, don't worry about it. We can simply use email to get this done. The last thing I want to do is let text stand in the way. So let's talk about the launch framework that we use here. I think one of the mistakes that we make is we believe that we are inconveniencing people by sharing information. I would argue that if we are sharing information that is of inherent value, we are obligated to do so. And so we don't send 1 email for the gift card campaign. We actually send 4. And this is what it looks like. We start with the announcement, right? We give people a heads up that we're about to do something that we're really excited about, and that we're going to be sending more information soon. That's the reveal. And then we release it. We make it live, but the scarcity starts now because we're only offering this benefit to our mailing list, which by and large, what most clients go with is a 20% discount. And then we remove it. And so there's a last call. You have 24 hours to get this deal before it's gone. And then days pass. And then we have the return, which is the 4th part of the framework. And what we do is we give everyone 12 more hours to do this. And why do we do this? We do this because statistically, people only buy on 2 days. They buy on the first day and the last day. It's built around a personality type. So with the remove and return, you only have 1 first day, but through the remove and return, you have 2 last days. And what most people see is that when we return the deal 2 days later, that we sell more gift cards on that last day than we did in all of the preceding days of the campaign. And I also think that if we do this in a way that resonates by attaching it to reasons, we end up in a really good place. Any reason works. Mother's Day, back to school, fall kickoff, your restaurant's anniversary. One of the things that we do with each one of these emails we send is we provide them with a different use case. My clients go so far as to say, and if you just want it for yourself, if you're thinking about coming back and you're thinking about coming back anytime soon, why wouldn't you do this for yourself? As an anecdotal aside, there's this amazing marketing book called Influence. And in it, they include a university study. And I'm going to butcher this, but I promise I'll get you the meat of the conversation, which is really this. What they did was they did a study at Kinko's back in the day. For the younger people on the call, you used to have to go somewhere to make copies. And what they would do is in these long lines during lunch where people were waiting to make copies, they would send someone to the front of the line who would ask to cut the line. And what they found is that without supplying a reason, 50% of the time, the person at the front of the line would let them cut. But when they supplied a reason, the conversion rate would go from 50% to 80%. And that's not what's interesting. What's interesting is the fact that that margin, that 80%, it didn't change based on the validity of the reason. any reason converted at roughly the same rate on average. So they would walk up to the front of the line and say, hey, do you mind if I cut? I need to make copies, or I'm running late, or I'm in a rush, or my dog's in the car. And all of those reasons converted at the same rate. And so what you should take away from that is this. All you have to do is supply a reason to give them to empower them to do what they want to do anyway, which is really, if they love you, if they're on your mailing list, they are predisposed to patronizing your restaurant. And this gives them a great reason to do it. Generally speaking, my clients run these quarterly. And you would ask, like, does this get old? Does the trick ever get stale? And before we move on, I want to share an idea with you that transformed the way that I view myself, my marketing, and the marketing for my clients. And it's this. You aren't marketing to a standing army. You're marketing to a moving parade. And what I mean by that is this, is that your mailing list is constantly evolving. New people are adding themselves every day, every week, every month, and people are falling off every day, every week, every month. And so the reason that we structure this the way we do, and the reason we're able to do it on repeat, is because, again, we're sharing something of inherent value with an audience that is interested in receiving that thing. And every week, every month, every quarter, when we launch this, new people are seeing it. And it spikes the open rates, it spikes the conversion rates. And ultimately, these gift cards also function as a tool for frequency, bringing people in more often because they have a great reason to do so. And I want to make sure we keep it simple. So let's talk about tools that you need to do it. You need an email platform. If you have an SMS platform, that is super useful. And you need to be able to sell gift cards online. A lot of people ask, do I promote this outside of email? Absolutely. I think that when you do the public launch, you do launch it on social media. I think you talk about it within the four walls of your restaurant. Some people have asked, do I need to be able to sell gift cards online? I think if you can't, it's a friction point. So that would be a priority for me as well. Before we continue, do you guys have any questions about anything that I've discussed thus far? If so, please let me know in the chat. And let's talk about real world results while you're doing that, because this isn't theory, it's practical application. And I'll give you an example of a real world restaurant. Urban Omni in Whitefish, Montana, sold $38,000 worth of gift cards. And their list was only 1,800 people. And the reason that I share that is because that is an extreme example of the power of a clean offer with great timing and the right message to the right audience. That's the opportunity here. And that's what makes for great marketing. So here's the takeaway. The secret isn't the card, it's the campaign. This is the needle that I'm trying to thread for you, is that if you believe that marketing is content, it's not. Marketing is campaigns. And so most of us, to do this, you would send one email, right? You would send one email, and if nobody responds and nobody does the thing, then you assume that nobody cares. But I would argue that that is not the way that it works. Restaurant emails are inherently low priority. Like, why would they be? Who is in the middle of a busy workday and goes, oh my goodness, this restaurant just emailed me. Let me drop everything and see what they have going on this month. So the reason that we send more than one email, and you're going to see it across all of the campaigns that we do, is number one, we understand that people are busy and that our messages are of inherent low value. Number two, we believe that we have something of value to offer. And so we want to make sure that we get it in front of people. And number three, repetition is compelling. If the first three emails didn't work and they didn't get a great reason to come in, or maybe they got busy, or maybe they forgot, we are always giving people the benefit of the doubt, because the truth is, like, I don't care about big mailing lists. As you saw with Urban Omni, all I really care about is that your list is full of people looking to buy, because we can only sell to people that are looking to buy. So we create these campaigns, and these are the cash flow levers within our business. There's also a B2B opportunity here as well. So a lot of you are hosting catering and events. And one of the things that we got really good at was selling gift cards on the back end of catering and events. And so you cater a party or you host a private event and the guests are already primed. They've experienced the food, the vibe, the team. And so what we do is we offer the host, we say, listen, everyone had such a wonderful time. If you want, we can give everyone that attended a $25 gift card, a $50 gift card, as a bonus, as a perk, so that they can come back with friends and family and enjoy the same thing. We did the same thing with catering. We said, hey, you guys order from us every week or every month, and the holidays are coming up. Wouldn't you like them to be able to share this with their family? And doing so, we were able to sell tens of thousands of gift cards to people that already knew us, they already liked us, they already trusted us, and they knew that their people would love it. And because we offered them a deal at 20% off, which again is a flat margin based on breakage, we were able to get this done in a beautiful way that seemed of high perceived value for the restaurant, for the host, and for the people that ultimately got the gift cards. Let's talk about the second campaign. So the second campaign I called the cash campaign. And this is so much more than a campaign because it's like a revenue engine for your business. Personally, across my businesses, this brought in over $3 million at a 30% profit margin. And it has worked similarly for restaurants everywhere. The way that it works is we are working off of your mailing list. The question that I would ask you, and I would ask you to actually reply in the chat, is to begin, how big are your mailing list? Let me know in the chat. And I will hydrate while you do so. Dennis says 38,000, 250, 10,000-ish, 3,000. Okay, follow-up question. As you guys are loading that in, how many of those people on your mailing list are ordering catering with frequency or are hosting holiday parties every year or work for companies that do? It's a really good question, though, isn't it, Dennis? 38,000 people. It's shocking that we don't think to sell to the people that already know us, like us, and trust us. And let's go back to the mailing list for a minute, because I, like all of you, I have dined at many, many, many restaurants over the years, but I have not signed up for many, many, many mailing lists. And so all of that to say, if someone is on your mailing list and they're already opening your emails, they're warm, they're interested, they want what you have to offer. And so those are the people that we go to. And so the strategy for the cash campaign is built off figuring out how many of the people on your mailing list work for companies that order catering or own companies that do catering on a regular basis or are hosting holiday parties and private events. We also do this because we only want to sell to buyers. I can't say it enough. And so the structure of this is a hand-raising email. That's like marketing speak for asking people if they're interested in the thing by kind of talking about the thing and around the thing. And there are simple CTAs for this. Reply to enter. If you want more info, just hit reply. This isn't a hard sell. It's an invitation. And it gives you a warm list of people that are already leaning in, that already know your brand, they know you, they like you, they trust you, and they're interested in potentially doing business with you through catering and private events. Let's talk about the magic of what this is and why it works. I think the best strategy to sell a thing that you think is inherently good is to give it away. I think that is something that has worked for me time and time again. That is a huge part of my practice today, is I teach for free. And in exchange, we build know, like, and trust. And over time, there's an opportunity for us to work together because you know me, because you like me, because you trust me, because I've already offered value to your life. And that is what you are doing with the cash campaign. So they're bought in emotionally. And that's why I think the sale starts. And so what we want to do, if we want to sell more catering or if we want to sell more private events, is we give one away. One. And so most campaigns generate 30 to 100 qualified leads in a single week. And all of that for the cost of one small holiday party or one small lunch catering. And not only does it make you appear generous, but it's strategic. It's going to create attention for what you want to talk about. It's going to build trust, and it's going to make every follow-up message we do after this even more effective. Here's why giveaway formats work. They work because you can't sell to people endlessly. Nobody wants to be sold. But what you can do is you can send out countless emails promoting the thing that you're giving away. So very similar to the gift card campaign, what we're doing is we are giving away a free catering for an office lunch for up to 150 people, let's say, like massive. Let's figure out who has big companies. And I can't talk to you and ask you to buy my catering all of the time. But what I can do is I can send out 5 emails. And each email is like, well, if you do catering, here's a feature of ours. Let's talk about this other use case for catering. Let's talk about all of the ways that we've serviced catering. Let's talk about the testimonials around this. And so we're not selling the thing. We're promoting the thing that we're giving away in many different ways. And all it does is it serves to build the value of the thing that we're giving away, which will ultimately lead everyone that doesn't win to buy it. So let's talk about how it works. Because again, this isn't really about theory. It's about practical application. So it's an 8-day email campaign. That doesn't mean you send out 8 emails. And it's built around scarcity and urgency. And then there's also built-up follow-up built into this. And so what we're not doing is we're not marketing the thing we want to sell. We are trying to engineer demand. And so here's what it looks like in practical application. It starts with an email that's like, we're super excited to launch our new and improved catering program. If your office has a catering job coming up in the next 30 days, send us the specifics and you'll be entered to win a catering for up to 150 guests. We do the same thing for holiday parties. If you guys are looking to throw a holiday party this year, we'll host your holiday party at no cost for up to 150 people, 200 people, whatever your capacity is. And we promote this and we promote it heavily. And so every follow-up email, as discussed, provides a different use case. And guess who wins? Guess who wins? Do you think it's the office with 150 people? No, it's the office with like 7 people. And then what we do is we announce the winner. And then we follow up with everyone else and we say, hey, we still have the specifics of your event. We would love to take care of you. I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So timing on this is everything. We should be running this thing every 60 days. What we do is we run it around the time that we think people are about to start doing things. So like when we run catering campaigns, we do it the last week, promoting it for the following month. When we do holiday parties, we start in early July. My clients have been booking events all year long. And it's because we start early, because by the time you're selling them on it, by the time you're promoting this to them, we've already closed the business. We've already secured the deposit. Starting early is the key to getting this done at scale. And so again, we're not waiting for demand. We're creating it. Remember the moving parade. So this is what it sounds like in practical application. I'll walk you through it. It starts with the kickoff giveaway. Here's the thing that we're super excited to do. We're going to do the catering for up to 150 people. Just reply back with your information about the next job, and we'll let you know. We give them a 48-hour reminder and a final call to register. Now, this is the magic. We then send an email to everyone stating, congratulations to Sally with whatever office in whatever neighborhood for winning the thing. For those of you that didn't win, I know you're disappointed, but I want to reassure you, I'm going to be reaching out to you personally and with a special invitation. And then we follow up with them the next day. And I say, hey, Nicole, I know you didn't win, but I'd hate for you to not feel like a winner. So I know that you have this catering job coming up, or I know that you guys still have this holiday party that you need to book. Let's work on it together. And I assure you, I will plus it up to the point where you do feel like a winner. Because we've already started the process and they feel seen and they feel special. And there's inherent value in this. And they have to book it anyway. The catering is still going to happen no matter what. The holiday party is still going to happen no matter what. And we're already 2 steps in that direction. So why wouldn't they close the business? If they were willing to do it for free and they have to have it anyway, why wouldn't they do it with you? Email 5 is the closer. Because when we talk about taking care of people and we see them, we make them feel special, and we apply that inherent value, it gives them the opportunity to work collaboratively with you to be the hero in that office or as the owner of that company. And we all know that there are 1,000 different ways that we can improve our catering offering or an event that establishes higher perceived value without actually spending any money or suffering margin. So let's talk about the campaigns themselves, how they work. Again, this generates millions of dollars because we are selling to people that are interested in buying. They already know you, they like you and trust you, and they have an upcoming thing. They have an upcoming catering order. They are throwing a holiday party this year. When we talk about marketing, like on the marketing side, when the marketing nerds get together, what we talk about is we talk about intent. How high is customer intent? And so through this vetting process, through this cash campaign, we're able to generate tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars by ratcheting up visibility and then truly understanding intent. There's no better way to get it done. So here's the takeaway. Don't wait for catering and event sales. I feel like as an industry, our marketing strategy is, well, I'll just wait. The phone will ring. Event inquiries will come in. Catering inquiries will come in. I want us to monetize our list. I think that there are all of these levers in your business that if you just pulled them, everything would change for you. And I would also ask that as we are 2 campaigns in to this 3 campaign strategy, that you see what I'm doing here. Everything that we do is tied to money. It is not that you build and then hope that it works. It is that we do a thing which immediately puts you on track to make more money today. As a restaurant owner and operator myself, what I can tell you is this. I never had enough money or the grace to just do things and hope that they worked. So everything that I've supplied to you works. And it works every time you launch it because, again, we are ratcheting up intent with a warm audience. And so this is what the workflow looks like. You're going to send out all of these emails, and then you're going to get all of these replies. Dump them into a spreadsheet because this won't be the only time we reach out to these people. Once the winner is selected, you're going to tag all of the leads that you want to follow up, and you will follow up with them on a personalized basis. So what does that look like? I don't know if Paul Allen actually said this, but the quote has been attributed to him many times, which is, when we're looking to scale, until we've achieved a certain level of scale, it makes sense to do things that don't scale. So you would think to yourself, well, what I'll do is I will create this perfect email. I will send it to everyone. It will say the same thing to everyone, and we'll see what happens. And what I would argue is if you do just a modicum of research and you hyper personalize these emails, you'll have a higher open rate. You'll have a higher conversion rate. And then you'll be able to get these people in. You'll be able to build rapport and relationship with them so that you'll be able to close the business. Any questions on that before we move on to social strategy? Doug asks, how do you create a mailing list? That's a great question, Doug. That's a big question, Doug. Generally, the way it works is we give people things that they want. And the way that it works for mailing lists is typically needs to be built into a loyalty program, which is pretty easy to spin up, which needs to be built on high perceived value, access, and status. So when I tried to build my mailing list, it wasn't like, yo, if you give me all your personal information, I'll give you a free dessert, because that just never felt equivalent. I also don't think that's what people want. I think what people want is they want to hear things like, you know, we change the menu seasonally. And so what we do is before we change the menu, we host a little get together around 5 or 6 o'clock for our best customers. We have them come in, we have them try the food, we tray pass it at no cost. And then we get their feedback. And then we can't do it for everybody, obviously, because we would go broke. But if that's something you would like to attend, sign up for our mailing list so that you can get the invite. And things like that go a really long way. Hey, we do really special things for birthdays. We do X, Y, and Z. You know, my girlfriend had her birthday here. My mother has her birthday here. And if you want us to celebrate your birthday, all you have to do is sign up for the mailing list. We will reach out all the time with things of value that will surprise you and delight you and make you feel seen and special. And if that's what you're into, sign up. Dennis mentions very small rate on the emails for a big list. For me, Dennis, I don't need a big list. I just need a small active list. What I would recommend for all of you is that you clean your list every 60 days. If someone hasn't opened an email from you in 60 days, pull them off, because you're not going to make money off of a busy or a big list. You're going to make money off of an active list where people are actively engaged. Also, having a large list and a low open rate is ultimately going to get you sent to promotions and spams. You end up with a lot of delivery issues around that. So I would strongly recommend cleaning your list all the time. Only sell to buyers. Don't worry about vanity metrics. Let's talk about social media strategy. I think that social media isn't about brand awareness. I think that it's a step in the right direction, but I don't think that's the only use case. I think that social media can be a sales tool. And I would ask you guys before we continue, for the folks on this call, like, are you able to track how much money you make off social media? Do you have any idea what that looks like? Please let me know in the chat, and I will hydrate again. No idea. So there are two things that often get conflated. There's marketing, and then there's sales. Marketing is your sign out front, and sales is probably your menu if you're doing it right. And so with social media, we use social media to market, but we don't use it to sell. And so the paradigm shift here, which is going to be super exciting and effective for all of you, is to use it to sell. You can use social media to sell, like eyeballs, engagement, comments, and likes. Those are great. But if they're not translating into dollars, why are we doing it? Why would we spend our time on anything? Like, who has enough money that like we can do things where we are unsure of whether they're going to work or not? Again, maybe I had the good fortune of never having enough time or enough money. So like I had to figure out what works for me. And so this strategy that I'm going to share with you, it's not built on content volume or follower count. It's leveraging the engagement that you're already getting and converting that into revenue. Again, I think that you have been misled, and it's because the easiest thing in the world to do is to create content. But content doesn't make money. Campaigns make money. And so this is what that campaign looks like. So it's going to start with the mindset shift, which is, in general, on social media is a place of inherently low intent. Nobody got on Instagram to decide where they're going to eat dinner tonight, right? They're there to be entertained and all of that. And typically what we do is we spend a lot of time broadcasting one-to-many on social media. Check out this piece of pie. Come by and eat it. Come sit on my patio. It's a lot of grandstanding. It's a lot of panhandling. And it's a lot of this like one-to-many conversation. And what worked really well for me was when I realized that like every comment, every like, every direct message is an open tab. Like those are invitations to engage with people. These are warm leads, right? Like these aren't people that just went to your restaurant and forgot you existed. They follow you on social media. And not only that, like they're engaging with your content. They care, right? So I don't need to sell these people on anything. I just need to invite them back. Here's the thing that is missing in almost all of the restaurant marketing that I see: offers. What is the offer? You know, I was having this conversation the other day in like our group coaching workshop. And I was saying, like, where would I be today if I had an amazing first date with my wife, which I did, not bragging, she gets the credit. But we had this amazing first date. And like, what if after that first date, I was just sitting around going, she'll call. She'll call. We had a great date. I'm sure she'll be back. I don't think we'd be married today. And so we don't assume the sale. We earn the sale. We assume that people aren't going to come back unless we invite them back. If you have a frequency issue, it's probably because you're not inviting people back. You might be talking about your stuff, but you're not inviting people back. So when we think about sales, which is different than marketing, we need to think in terms of offer creation. What do I need to say to get you back? What kind of offer is required? And so I would ask everyone in the group for your favorite restaurants, not the ones you own, but the ones you go to. What would your favorite restaurant have to offer you to convince you to come back? Let me know in the chat. Nothing, Dennis says. Anyone else? Does anyone need a bribe from their favorite restaurant to go in? Let me know. Are there any tough cookies here? No. Nothing. Monica wants free drinks. So Monica is a tough cookie. But generally speaking, statistically, for your favorite restaurant, they don't need a reminder. Or they don't need an offer outside of a reminder. The offer is the invitation. So why don't you come back? See, you think that you have a loyalty problem, when I would argue what you have is a memory problem. People that love your restaurant and have an amazing experience immediately forget about you the moment they walk out the door. And it's because they have lives and careers and spouses and obligations and friends and children and pets. All of these distractions. Like, what made me a great marketer as a restaurateur was the understanding that, like, nobody cares about me. Nobody thinks about me. Not to say that they don't like me, but I'm just not a priority in anyone's life. And so, like, if I want to get the people that already love me to come back, what do I need to do? I need to remind them that I exist, and I need to invite them back in like a really authentic way. So this transitioned into how we began to use social media. We saw every like, every comment, every direct message is an opportunity to engage, not at scale. I'm not commenting on comments here. I'm direct messaging people. And let me ask you something. Let me know in the chat. When was the last time a restaurant reached out to you directly? Said, hey, Doug. Hey, Monica. Hey, Ivan. How you doing? Thanks for engaging. Never, right? Never. It's just not done. And that's why we won. That's why my clients win, because we do what no one does. Monica, there are so many bots out there. It's terrible. And again, if we're talking about things that don't scale, I'll show you what the math looks like. It's super simple on this. But like, this is how we differentiate. We don't differentiate by doing what everyone else does. We do what nobody is willing to do. And as a result, we become a category of one. So here's the math, right? If you, like my clients, send out 35 direct messages a day, that is 1,000 invitations per month, per platform, right? And we all know, like, one table, one large party can impact a day. It can impact a week. And so if you want more butts in seats, it starts with inviting more people in. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And the compacting effect of this is real. And I'll get more into the math in a minute, but just to give you a high level overview, for my clients that are doing these 1,000 invites per month, they're seeing a conversion rate of about 25%, right? Because these people are engaging. And so if they're following you on social media and they've already been in and they're engaging with your content, they're highly likely to do this. And so do the math on that, right? If you're at a 25% conversion rate on 1,000 offers, that is 250 covers. Let me know in the chat. How many of you would like 250 more covers? Me. Yeah, for sure. Did you guys catch something a second ago? Was my math right? So if you reach out to 1,000 people with a 25% conversion rate, I said you would get an extra 250 covers. Does that sound right to you? Let me know. Yes. Looking at about 100 new customers for our restaurant. My math is bad, and my math is bad intentionally. So that's a 25% conversion rate on 1,000 offers. That is 250 individuals that have agreed to come in. How many of those people do you think are going to come by themselves? No one. No one's going to come to your restaurant, right? So I didn't get you 250 covers. I got you at minimum 500 covers. Let's round down to 400. We'll be modest for the purpose of this conversation. Now, let me ask you, with all of the solutions you see out there, how much would it cost for you to do this? Dollars to donuts. How much does it cost to execute this campaign? $0, right? But it probably takes a really long time. How much time do you think it takes to execute this per day? Copy and pasting the same messages into different chats 35 times. Yep, about 35 minutes max, but you'll get faster. And eventually you'll delegate it to someone else. So this is what the playbook looks like. Now that we can all agree that it is a light lift, it is zero cost, and it has a massive impact on your business. So I start with the comments and tags. I want to see like who's tagged me in the past, who's commented, who's liked. I start with Instagram and I begin to DM all of these folks. And it's a really simple note like, hey, thanks for the like, thanks for the comment, thanks for the ad. And then it's something really simple like, when was the last time you've been in? And then I let them know like, we would love to see you this weekend. We're running this special. And by special, I don't mean a discount. I mean, like this is the steak special we're running. Or, we have this entertainment. Or if you don't do anything for your restaurant, like what's your favorite dish? Why don't you come by and try it? I've got room Friday at 8 p.m. Do you want me to lock in that reservation for you? Because that was a question that we just got in the chat. It's like, how do you track when they come in? I have everybody book through me. Because it's not really me. It's actually like an assistant, right? Because once you've built the system and it pays for itself, you're just going to delegate it to someone else. So we book their reservations for them. Think about how high touch this is. It's a light lift, but it's really high touch. And they see us and they see that we see them and they feel special. Now, as a caveat, because we need to talk about human nature for a minute, if you have no intention of going out this weekend, will this convince somebody to come out? No, but that's not what I'm looking to do here. If Ivan or Monica or Randy is already going out, I just want them to choose me. That's all I want them to do. All I want them to do is whatever they were already going to do, just want them to do it with me. And so it's simple and it's direct and it's high converting because I'm just trying to get people to do what they're already inclined to do. So here are the tools you need. You need Instagram, you need Facebook, you need a Google Sheet so you can track it. And then I would strongly recommend in your bio having your reservation link or your wait list link, just so that they can book it themselves if they don't get around to it in the conversation with you. This works. Like all of these things work, right? And like, even though you haven't tried them, they work. And the reason they work is because it would work on you. So let's talk about results for this. I had a fast casual operator in Los Angeles, California, bring in an additional $6,000 a week at an average customer spend of about $26. So you can imagine what kind of volume that is from direct messages alone. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But it works because we are inviting more people in. So if you want more eyeballs to turn into more butts and seats, it's just about more invitations. Here's the takeaway. Your social feed is full of buyer intent. These people are already engaged. We just need to monetize the attention. And so treat every comment, every like, every direct message as a handshake. And so all I want you to do is just show up and say something and invite them to come back. So again, social media, I believe, is most effective one-to-one, not one-to-many. I don't care how often you post on Instagram. I don't think that it matters. I think if you live in the DMs with the thousands of followers that all of you have, and you're making 1,000 offers a month per platform, I don't think you're going to have to worry about money. I don't think you're going to have to worry about followers and engagement and all of that. I think you'll be in a category of one, which is exactly where I want you to be. So step by step, to rehash, this is the script. Hey, this is Josh with Pro and Proper. I wanted to reach out directly and say, thanks for the follow, or thanks for the mention, or thanks for the tag. Do you have any plans this weekend? And when they engage, we say, come by this weekend. We'd love to show you this thing that we're working on. We've got this feature coming up. There's this entertainment. We used to pitch the beef rib because it's one of the most popular things on the menu. So like, we've got a beef rib combo to share this Saturday. Why don't you come by? And again, it builds connection. It drives traffic. It makes people feel personally. And candidly, even though it works, I don't even care if it does. Because what I am doing is I'm sitting in front of people. I'm bringing myself to the forefront. I'm creating a category of one. So if they're out of town and they can't come in this weekend, they will most certainly remember me in the future. So again, the math, if you underperform, like, do the math on this. So 35 messages a day. Let's assume you converted an incredibly poor rate and you only get 125 covers, right? That's still $4,000 to $12,000 per month in ancillary revenue with zero overhead associated with the campaign. So this is what we do. We send 35 messages a day with one trigger point, one trigger post per week. And then we review the KPIs every week. We are constantly engaging and re-engaging with people. If you don't do any of this now, what I would recommend is starting with 10 a day, then 15 a day, then 20, then 25, then 30, then 35, because what you don't want to do is end up in Facebook jail. Dennis asks, is there a system that does all of this with AI? I think Monica spoke to this earlier. She was like, yeah, somebody messaged me directly, but it was a bot. So yes, there are a bunch. Will people know it's not you? Yes. Yes, they will. So I would argue that this is worth your time, the 35 minutes a day, to create an authentic engagement with the people that love you most. Let this be part of your habit. And to speak to Dennis's point, because I get this a lot. One of the things that I spend a lot of time talking about and teaching about is like, what do restaurant owners do? And the reason that I talk about that is because I spent the bulk of my career as a restaurant owner doing the things that restaurant managers do, which once you figure out what restaurant owners do, you're nauseated by all of the years that you didn't do those things. So do I think that you should do this, like you specifically, Dennis? Yeah, I think you should master it. And the reason is, I don't know if I would entrust this to anyone until I've achieved a specific level of mastery myself. I would also say that this is one of those high leverage things that you can do that will make you a fortune. It is so much more important than doing the schedule or any of these other things. We're getting close, guys. Let's wrap it up. So the gift card game plan for email revenue blitz that's generated tens of thousands. I mean, at this point, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of 4 days. The catering and event engine, that cash campaign, through the hand raising emails, we figure out who on your list can hook you up with more catering and more events. And the social media DM strategy, where we turn eyeballs into butts in seats. So most restaurant marketing fails because it's a one-off effort, because we do something and it doesn't work. Here's what I'll tell you. Marketing only works at scale. That's just the way it is. So like, if you guys walk away from this and you send out 15 direct messages today and you never do it again, like, you can't come back and say it didn't work. I need you to send 1,000. I need you to send 10,000. There's a compounding effect to marketing, especially when it's great marketing. The good news is you'll notice all of this stuff works really, really quickly. Generally, great marketing is going to work effectively. And when you look back at your past campaigns as restaurant owners and operators, I'm sure you've seen that things take effect really, really quickly. When it works, it works. And that's what you'll see with these. And that's why they're plug and play. Think of them as part of your monthly playbook. I want you to bake these things into your flow quarterly and not use them as a last minute Hail Mary. Tom says, lots of senior customers, no email or social media ideas. Yes, Tom, I actually have a couple of clients. One's actually based in Umatilla, Florida. They own a diner that's been around for like 70 years. They just bought it. And one of the things that we're working on is serving their senior customers incredibly well while developing campaigns to breed new audience. The concern for concepts like yours is that ultimately, like, you will age out of your client base. And so, if what we're trying to do, and I hope we all are, is build generational businesses, because independent restaurants are foundational to the fabric of the communities we live in. We always need to be attracting new people. And so, I would argue that, like, take care of your senior customers, but use these techniques to bring in new people. And if you want to learn more about stuff like this, I built an entire masterclass around it. It's 5 days long. It's free. It's like 40 minutes a day. And we go deep like this into strategy and structure and execution. And you'll walk away with more campaigns, tools, and like a 12-month roadmap. And it's totally free. If that's something you're into, go to joshkopel.com. That's my name. And you'll be able to register for the event. It happens in 2 weeks. I would love to see you there. Let's not forget Yelp for Restaurants, this amazing company that takes care of all of this for us and set this up so that we could actually communicate with each other. Yelp has amazing tools that'll help you communicate better with your guests, from collecting feedback to turning traffic into reservations. And these are some of my favorites. You can eliminate friction around moving off platform to book with Yelp Guest Manager. You can create massive awareness through Yelp ads. You can leverage the power of their guest experience survey to get invaluable feedback from your guests. And coming soon, you won't have to worry about the phone ringing anymore, because they are launching Yelp Host, which is a sick new feature. And if you want to learn about that or anything else that they do, go to business.yelp.com/restaurants. Randy, that address for me, I will drop it in the chat, is joshkopel.com. And with that being said, thank you. I understand that you are all overworked, underpaid, exhausted, overwhelmed, all of this. And so my goal here is to provide you with tools and levers in your business to help you succeed, to be the person that I wished I had come across when I was in your shoes. I value your time sincerely. And so thank you for taking the time to sit with me, to learn with me, to chit chat with me. And I will see you all very, very soon.